Shouldn't that go into recycling?
Recycling. Recycling. Everybody knows the trash gets sorted. We don't need no stinking recycling.
Fact is, no trash gets sorted, friend. So if it goes in there, it just ends up at a landfill.
There's only one way to settle this. Draw.
Santa Barbara recycles.
Minutes away. Hours of fun. See another world. Stearns Wharf. Your local, affordable source for family fun.
I pledge.
Pledge to take the 20-gallon challenge. It's easy and simple. Turn off the tap while doing dishes.
We pledge.
Fixing leaky toilets saves thousands of gallons of water.
We pledge.
Always run full loads of laundry. Use a high-efficiency clothes washer which saves water and energy.
We pledge.
Save water now. Take the 20-gallon challenge at sbwater.org.
Hi, I'm Rachel Senes with City TV, and welcome to Inside Santa Barbara, the city's only news magazine show. We bring you up to date on the city's most significant issues, projects, and events. In the spring, we took you to the kickoff of a countywide program aimed at lessening the impact our local businesses have on the environment. And now that the Green Business Program is up and running and going strong, in our top story, Channel 18's Dominique Blocker tells us more about how businesses are making a difference.
People have come to know Santa Barbara County as a resource-rich paradise. From the miles of beaches, abundant parkland, and rich soil, to pristine lakes and rugged mountains. But without smart choices and conservation, those resources could be in jeopardy. That's where an exciting new program comes in. The Green Business Program of Santa Barbara County is giving business owners and residents the tools they need to make sure the place we call home is just as rich for generations to come.
The Green Business Certification Program is a local program. It's homegrown. It's developed by agencies and individuals and business owners and consumers. So if we can play just a small part in that by developing an identity around businesses that are doing the right thing and giving that information to the consumers in our community, I think that would be a tremendous asset. And that's, I think, our goal overall, is to have that kind of local benefit.
It's been a great process putting together this program that's going to work for everybody. So it's been a really great partnership. Everybody's interests are important to the entire group.
The Green Business Program is a movement that has been building momentum for nearly 15 years. The Central Coast business community recognized that environmental responsibility and green practices not only benefit our surroundings, they support the possibility of future business growth and viability. As more and more people become aware, the way we do business is changing. And in this case, change is good.
It makes sense economically. It just makes sense in the participation to make this a better community. I also believe strongly in the corporate citizenship, the corporate stewardship, if you will, and I think you're going to find businesses gravitating towards the green program, the green certification every day. Phones are going to ring off the hook. People are going to want to get involved in this. It's going to create an excitement and a new energy inside businesses, and I just think it's going to take off. We've had participation from all areas, cities, counties, special districts, individuals, utilities. It's just been a great partnership coming together, and I think that's the power and the strength that's going to keep this green business program in Santa Barbara County together, is that the partners are so committed to this.
That commitment has led to a program that encourages businesses to protect, preserve, and improve the environment. The Green Business Program aims to recognize, through a certification process, businesses that go above and beyond existing requirements to serve as models of sustainable business. The program is voluntary, but that doesn't mean that businesses are all on their own. Many business owners want to conserve and do their part, but may find themselves asking how. The Green Business Program did the groundwork and answered that question. The program offers assistance to make the process as easy and comprehensive as possible. Incentives such as links to resources and rebates, increased public relations, and an official green business certification help to set businesses apart from the crowd.
As a business owner, I really wanted to see what could be done about being environmentally responsible. I didn't really know how to go about doing that. That's what I needed, was the structure of the program to kind of take it to the next level as a business owner. One place makes the decision, but if you put a bunch of people together in an organization, hopefully that makes a big difference overall.
A program that's dedicated to giving businesses, not just like a checklist or, a list of things to accomplish, but offering them resources to be able to accomplish these things and to offer different people for them to talk to and different ways to go about doing things, not having something be so stagnant that it's not malleable for each different business.
That is one thing that sets the program apart. The organizers recognize that every business is unique, and no single checklist works for everyone.
We decide what that looks like for us, and we know what the opportunities are. We know where there are pots of incentives and services and programs that help support a business doing the right thing.
And that's what the program comes down to: doing the right thing. The right thing for the community, the right thing for the environment, and ultimately, the right thing for business.
It's not just a local issue, it's not just a global issue, but it ties into everything that we do as a community and as an individual.
To me, it just seems like the right thing to do. It makes the business more vibrant. So if we can make little incremental changes like this, then it becomes a better place.
I think that it will create this sense of legitimacy for the co-op in the greater Santa Barbara area. I mean, the Green Award really helped us. The amazing amount of PR that we got for being a part of that program was really, really beneficial. So I can't wait for that sticker. I'm really excited about it.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you can learn what other people are already doing, and this may instill some new thoughts and new ideas. You benefit from each other. The community as a whole, comprised of residents, comprised of businesses. So I think you create a more healthy environment.
Businesses that participate in the program, like Allen Associates, have taken the time to make the important changes that will help to create that healthy environment. And when consumers see this sticker, they'll know they're supporting a place that has gone the extra mile. By doing small things like recycling, conserving water, choosing energy-efficient appliances and environmentally friendly purchasing options, businesses throughout the county can make a big impact environmentally and see a big savings in their bottom line.
I think most owners really want to see the translation into dollars. To know that what they're doing overall will be cost-effective as well as environmentally friendly is something that I think is, hits a chord with a lot of people. Seeing that small things have been able to save money, but also that fit into the idea of being more environmentally conscious, I think are just an extra bonus.
Businesses realize not only significant cost reductions, but a healthier workplace, improved morale and employee retention, and a positive image within the community.
People do notice these things. They are looking for where to recycle their bottles. They want to make sure that they're reusing, the packaging that is reusable. They're looking for it, and they're, I think, making some purchasing decisions based on whether they think that a business runs responsible environmental business practices.
Now that the program has officially launched and the first certifications were handed out to local businesses, the Green Business Program of Santa Barbara County is ready and able to promote sustainability in local businesses, help build a healthier community, and foster a positive impact on the environment.
This is a great opportunity to distinguish yourself above the crowd, to save some money, to do the right thing, to be part of a really great movement in our community, to be part of a partnership. It's not just a group of government agencies and nonprofits and chambers working together. It's a partnership with the businesses as well.
To know that we actually have a certification, we've taken the time to actually go through a program and achieve this, I think really speaks highly of our business practices and what kind of business we really are.
Well, I think it only makes sense to want to be a participant in the program. It seems to me that if you can comply and do that and get something to benefit the community, it's a no-brainer.
If this helps get the word out and build more awareness, then that's what we want. We need to change our perspectives and learn new ways of thinking about the environment.
I'm not here to save the world. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to operate our business as well as we can.
I hope what they think when they see that sticker is, here's a business that's doing the right thing. The consumer will have a level of confidence when they go into a business, and they'll just know beyond a doubt that this business has completed this process. They're really doing what they say they're doing, and they're doing it to the benefit of the whole community.
For more information about becoming a green business or to find out which businesses have the certification, go to our website, that's citytv18.com. Well, today, water conservation is commonplace, but after replacing our shower heads and switching to low-flow toilets, what else is there to do? Up next, City TV's Nina Sang tells us how the city is helping residents become even wiser when it comes to water.
The City of Santa Barbara and the Goleta Water District want you to use less water, and they're willing to pick up some of the tab to help you do it.
The Smart Landscape Rebate Program is a rebate for materials of water-wise and efficient irrigation equipment.
And the Franciscan Villas was the first place to implement the Smart Landscape Rebate Program.
We have a lot of homeowners associations, such as this one, and they were interested in doing upgrades, but the cost was an issue for them. And having the rebate program, they were able to have half the cost of the materials rebated to them.
The rebate covers a maximum of $1,000 on approved irrigation equipment, smart irrigation controllers, water-wise plants, and mulch. The mulch maintains moisture in the ground and keeps weeds from growing. The new irrigation devices help direct water where you want it with less waste. And by replacing thirsty plants like lawn and turf grass with water-wise plants, property owners can save a bundle on their water bill.
The weather sensors measure the temperature and solar radiation here on site in order to adjust the runtime on the controllers, so that each day it's adjusted according to what the weather has been, in the previous days since the last irrigation.
Besides saving water for the property owners, each upgrade helps the city extend its water supply in times of drought.
It's also an excellent way for people to save money on their water bills as well as help protect the environment.
Well, the city's always interested in helping the city stay beautiful and be efficient. Part of it is resource management, and whatever we can do to help each person, one person at a time, helps everyone in our community.
We used to have some pretty big areas in the morning that were just water just sitting on our concrete and just pouring off. And many residents were actually concerned with the waste and how much damage was happening. But pretty instantaneously, the water was decreased, and that's the biggest thing that we've noticed.
This is the best time to do it, in the summertime when your irrigation is high and inefficient. And if what we can do to assist you, even by giving you advice on how to make your system more efficient, how to adjust your controller, maybe suggestions on what to do, on what things are not working very well. That right there will help your landscape be healthier, and in the long run will save water and save money.
For more information on this program, visit santabarbaraca.gov/water. We'll be right back.
I pledge. Pledge to take the 20-gallon challenge. It's easy and simple. Turn your sprinklers on and check for leaks once a month.
I pledge.
Use 3 inches of mulch throughout your garden.
I pledge.
Use online tools to adjust your watering schedule.
I pledge.
Install a rain sensor and it will automatically shut off your sprinklers when it is raining.
I pledge.
Save water now. Take the 20-gallon challenge at sbwater.org.
Shouldn't that go into recycling?
Recycling. Recycling. Everybody knows the trash gets sorted. We don't need no stinking recycling.
Fact is, no trash gets sorted, friend. So if it goes in there, it just ends up at a landfill.
There's only one way to settle this. Draw.
Santa Barbara Recycles.
Another day in your day-to-day replays. Moments you might cherish pass you by. But the light of the morning seems to say that one small thing can change the world. The morning light remains. The smile that you offer is returned. The good fortune of the day can be blamed on the fact that one small thing can change the world.
Rediscover your sense of Santa Barbara. Stearns Wharf, you're on to something.
Even our best friends can affect the environment. When nature calls, pick up after your pet and help prevent harmful bacteria from washing into our creeks and ocean.
Yeah.
Clean creeks and healthy beaches start at home.
Welcome back to Inside Santa Barbara. Well, the economic downturn has greatly affected the city of Santa Barbara, but during these challenging times, city employees and the city council have worked together to maintain as many public services as possible.
On June 23, 2009, after 2 months of deliberations, the City Council unanimously adopted a balanced budget for the 2010 fiscal year. The estimated deficit of nearly $11 million, or approximately 10% of the city's general fund, meant reaching this agreement took the effort and cooperation of many.
It's a difficult situation because our general fund budget, 75% of the budget is salaries and benefits, personnel costs. That's not unusual for a local government. Local government general funds, police and fire and the like, are service organizations, and the service is provided by people. And so when you're talking about having to cut a general fund budget, really, there's only so much you can squeeze out of the budget without having to look at positions.
With a total budget of $260 million for the upcoming year, balancing that number was no easy task. So what makes up the total budget? $238 million is the operating budget, which is comprised of the general fund, enterprise funds like the airport, wastewater, and downtown parking, and special revenue funds like the redevelopment agency and streets. The other $22 million is the capital budget, made up of infrastructure improvements. The Creeks Division's Mission Creek restoration at Oak Park, the Waterfront's Marina 3 ADA upgrades, and the Streets Sidewalk Infill program are all examples of projects that are funded by the capital budget. Yet, it was out of the $104 million general fund operating budget that the city had to cut nearly 10%.
When we're talking about the budget deficit, we're talking strictly about the city's general fund. The general fund is the city's main fund that people think of when they think of local government services. It is the tax-supported fund that provides services like public safety, police and fire, community development, libraries, parks and recreation, some of the administrative functions.
In order to balance the budget for the 2010 fiscal year, which began July 1st, the city sought a combination of reduced costs and enhanced revenue. The main targets were department budget reductions, citywide labor measures, increased fees and charges, structural budget changes, and delays to capital improvements. But what did those measures mean to the average resident? While most programs and services will continue, the public can anticipate some service changes, increased fees, and a delay in certain capital improvement projects. Financial assistance from the city to community organizations will decrease by the same percentage as non-public safety departments were cut, 8.4%. By council action, 2 organizations, the Conference and Visitors Bureau and New Beginnings, will continue to receive funding at current levels. Within the city, the equivalent of nearly 42 full-time positions were eliminated. All of these positions were vacant as a result of attrition and a hiring freeze implemented last fiscal year. All departments will also reduce spending on supplies, services, and training.
Although the goal is to affect the community as little as possible, delays in processing and longer wait times at public counters may be noticed.
Also, cost reductions will result in limited purchases of library books and materials, decreased efficiency in zoning enforcement, and less frequent tree pruning and park maintenance activities.
Making budget reductions is one of the most challenging things when you provide services to the public, because no matter what you do, there's going to be some impact. And as the staff of the Parks and Recreation Department got together and began talking about how to decide what to cut, it was a priority for us that we protect our parks and keep our parks safe, clean, and green, that we keep as many facilities open as possible, that we try to make cuts that would have the least amount of impact to the people that we serve. But there will be impacts. Probably the place that it will be felt the most is in the services that are provided, because we took a 14% reduction in our workforce.
In general, the cost savings are ongoing and will help make the city a smaller and less costly organization. One key to balancing this year's budget comes from significant cost savings achieved through citywide labor measures. These measures include a 104-hour furlough, or unpaid leave, for managers, supervisors, and general employees.
What we've been able to achieve is $1.7 million in labor savings to the general fund and another $1.3 million to other funds. If we hadn't been able to get the furlough and vacation cash-out concessions, we would have had to cut much deeper into the organization that we needed to.
This savings does mean that certain city offices will be closed at times throughout the year.
We'll be closing during the Christmas and New Year's periods when our contact with the public is historically lower. We'll also be closing the day before Thanksgiving, again, because it's just historically a very low public contact day. And then 4 Fridays scattered throughout the year. Certainly, whenever you have to close a day, there's some impact, but we think we've chosen a schedule for closure that will minimize these impacts.
The willingness of employees to share the pain highlights a commitment not only to the city, but to the community as a whole.
I think our employees are enormously invested in the success of the city and in the excellence in the service that we provide to the public, and I think that we all feel good about having come together and made these types of sacrifices in order to continue to be able to provide the highest level of service to our community.
The City Council adopted the budget acknowledging that the city's financial future remains uncertain. Major tax revenues continue to lag well below previous years. The state's budget crisis could impact cities and counties throughout California, and the receipt of a federal grant to pay for 4 police officers is still not confirmed. Ultimately, the council expressed an interest in becoming a smaller, more efficient organization and revisiting the adopted budget in coming months to make modifications if needed.
There's a lot we don't know, unfortunately. Probably the biggest thing that we don't know is what's the economy going to do? Is this economy going to continue to deteriorate? Is it going to level off but stay at these depressed levels? Or is it going to start to bounce back? And if so, when? Because those kinds of things impact some of our biggest revenue sources like sales tax and our hotel bed tax, or transient occupancy tax as it's called. Those are very economically sensitive revenue sources, and until the economy starts to turn around and rebound, we're going to continue to have difficulties.
The final budget document is available to the public on the city's website, that's santabarbaraca.gov. It's also available in the city clerk's office at 735 Anacapa Street, as well as at the Central Public Library on 40 East Anapamu Street. Well, trespassers beware. That's the message of multiple law enforcement agencies reinforcing rail safety and actively laying down the law.
This is no ordinary train. On this day, it's a special train ride that will hopefully help to educate people about rail safety.
We've caught 7 people so far. It means we still have more work to do. It just takes one person out there to cause a major incident that affects everybody, that ties up traffic, ties up the railroad. And one incident that occurs out here can affect your railroad traffic all the way back to the East Coast.
Operation Lifesaver is a program created in unison by these U.S. railroads: Metrolink, Union Pacific, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, and Amtrak. Rail and local police have come out en masse to help promote proper rail safety along the Santa Barbara corridor.
And what we're doing is we're going along the railroad here, doing enforcement, looking for trespassers along the right-of-way, and for vehicle violations at the crossing gates. Now, what's occurred so far this morning is we've gone probably to 3 or 4 housing encampments, and we've arrested probably 6 or 7 people this morning so far that had set up encampments along the right-of-way right next to these tracks. And at any time they could walk across one of these tracks and not be cognizant of a train approaching.
Every 90 to 120 minutes in the U.S., there is a rail incident, usually caused by either a trespasser or by someone violating the crossing signal.
The trains can stop, but trains cannot stop quickly. So we are out doing an active enforcement here. We do active enforcement all through the United States. It's done typically in this fashion, where law enforcement partners with the railroad, and we will select an area for enforcement.
The operation is simple. In the front engine is the spotter officer with a walkie-talkie who's on the lookout for violators. When the officer spots an illegal crossing or illegal camp, he radios to city and rail police that are stationed at different locations along the corridor.
This morning we noticed some homeless people walking near the tracks, and we radioed to the officers, and the officers met us at that location. And those people were arrested or cited and released, depending upon the situation. We did have one person out there that did have a warrant, and they will be going to jail.
Operation Lifesaver has been ongoing since the early 80s, and since its incarnation, there's been a 30% drop in overall incidences.
People are still taking the chances of crossing the track inadvertently in any location.
The usual suspects are:
commonly what will occur is the gates will activate, they'll start flashing, and people at some times will try and beat the train because they think they have enough time to do so. And they cannot gauge the speed of the train. There's no way to gauge the speed of the train. And they're taking a terrible chance. A lot of times we'll have a trespasser going off to the beach or something, or even carrying a surfboard, going right across the tracks in front of a train, or they may trip on the rail. And they're crossing at places where it's illegal to cross. They're only supposed to cross where the railroad meets a crossing, not any other place at all. They're in violation.
So the next time you think you might be saving some time by crossing the railroad track illegally, think again.
And after this program's over, the law enforcement will still be patrolling the area looking for violators, and they do that on a daily basis.
All citations must go before a judge, emphasizing the importance of adhering to all rail crossing laws. Well, as part of our continuing series highlighting city advisory groups, this month we take a closer look at a group that plays an important role in maintaining the aesthetics of Santa Barbara's historic downtown and waterfront. It is called El Pueblo Viejo, the Old Town. It is the city's architectural heart, anchored by historic buildings of exceptional quality and character. Together they form the foundation that gives Santa Barbara one of the most recognizable identities in the world.
I think the most important thing about our city is the fact that we're one of a very few thematic cities in the United States. What a thematic city is one that follows some sort of an architectural guideline or trend or past architectural style. In this case, it's the Spanish colonial architecture. So we have a style that started in the 1920s called Spanish Colonial Revival, and it takes its architectural cues from the original Spanish architecture, the white stucco walls, the small casement windows, the red tile roofs, the things that we see around town.
You always feel like you're in an integrated design district as opposed to a fragmented one. So yeah, thematic, but I would say cohesive.
The guardian of this historic area is a group of 9 citizen volunteers known as the Historic Landmarks Commission. The story of the commission began in 1959 when the California State Legislature passed a bill enabling local communities to provide for historic districts and landmarks and regulate their protection and enhancement. The bill inspired the city to create the El Pueblo Viejo Historic District in the downtown and waterfront areas. The following year, El Pueblo Viejo was further strengthened with the City Council's adoption of an ordinance formally establishing the district and its styles of architecture and prohibiting the demolition of any adobe structure. All buildings located in the district are subject to review by the Commission.
What they do is they offer feedback to the applicant or owner on what this design is going to look like. I mean, a lot of times a design on paper doesn't turn out looking like it really looks after it's built. And HLC has the experience to look at these designs and kind of know what it's going to look like. And a lot of times, you know, the HLC will change the design of a project, and afterwards the owners or applicants come back later and they're so appreciative of the information and the knowledge that HLC provided, and the changes that happen on that project make it turn out to be a better project.
One of the things I think people don't realize is that it is the incremental erosion of architectural character that can happen with small increments of change that you're not looking at and you're not watching all the time. And that's one of the things we do. So we're always keeping that in our minds.
Santa Barbara's unique style of architecture reflects an equally unique approach to city planning. Any exterior changes to a building in the district requires review by the Commission. commercial signs within the district are also subject to review to meet the district guidelines. However, the Commission has no review authority over a structure's interior.
Well, the Historic Landmarks Commission has a set of guidelines, and it's called the El Pueblo Viejo Design Guidelines, and we've just revamped them with the help of HLC members, staff, and members of the community. And the guidelines are designed to help the HLC to implement this style of architecture, Spanish colonial revival, and some associated styles that are associated with it in our new designs that are being built in the city. That's why you'll see new buildings downtown have the red tile roofs, the white stucco walls, and have that Hispanic feeling.
Members are proficient in issues of historic preservation, architectural design, and landscape design.
I see ourselves as consultants. The commission is made up of architects, both building and landscape, architectural historians, and some people who are not in the profession but who have such an astounding knowledge of the history of Santa Barbara and the buildings and how it's put together. So when the applicant comes, they've basically got a group of really good consultants to say, well, you know, I think your building is good, and I think this is great, and this, but if you would just pull the entry over to here, then we won't be seeing the car go in there and all that. And these are things that maybe the applicant has considered and maybe rejected, but did not realize that perhaps it would be a better thing to fit into El Pueblo Viejo.
It's not just red tile roofs that identify El Pueblo Viejo. The Commission also examines architectural details like the use of natural materials, lighting fixtures, colors, and appropriate landscaping.
This is one of the real treasures and jewels of Santa Barbara. The first thing you want to notice, and I think is important, and it has to do with the urban design guidelines as well as landmarks, is the outdoor space and how it is shaped and contained by the forms of the buildings, how it interacts with the buildings, so there's an inside-outside constant interaction. And then you want to look at, there's a very human scale. This is an urban, very urban building, yet there's a very residential and human scale to the buildings, the proportions. There's nothing that feels overwhelming. Then you start looking at the smaller things that are happening. So, for instance, you can see that there's sort of limited use of milled lumber, that lintel above the door there, that stair and the wrought iron is recessed into that entry there. It's not right out front. You can see the wonderful use of little landscape pieces. The courtyard, the fountain is a big element of this.
So the next time you're strolling around downtown and enjoying the historic ambiance, remember much of it can be attributed to the work of the dedicated community volunteers of the Historic Landmarks Commission. For more information on the Historic Landmarks Commission, go to the city's website, santabarbaraca.gov, and click on the quick link called Boards and Commissions. And we'll be right back.
I pledge. Pledge to take the 20-gallon challenge. It's easy and simple. Turn your sprinklers on and check for leaks once a month.
I pledge.
Use 3 inches of mulch throughout your garden.
I pledge.
Use online tools to adjust your watering schedule.
I pledge.
Install a rain sensor and it will automatically shut off your sprinklers when it is raining.
I pledge.
Save water now. Take the 20-gallon challenge at sbwater.org. When we wash our cars on the street, oil and soapy water runs into the gutter, down the storm drain, and straight into the creeks and ocean. Metals, solvents, and degreasers get washed to the ocean too. Instead, take your car to a car wash where the dirty water is collected, or at home, wash on grass or gravel to absorb the water. Remember, when you wash your car on the street, you're not just washing your car on the street.
Another day in your day-to-day replays. Moments you might cherish pass you by. But the light of the morning seems to say that one small thing can change the world. The morning light remains. The The smile that you offer is returned. The good fortune of the day can be blamed on the fact that one small thing can change the world.
Shouldn't that go into recycling?
Recycling. Recycling. Everybody knows the trash gets sorted. We don't need no stinking recycling.
Fact is, no trash gets sorted, friend. So if it goes in there, it just ends up at a landfill.
There's only one way to settle this. Draw.
Santa Barbara Recycles.
Rediscover your sense of Santa Barbara. Stearns Wharf, you're on to something.
Local favorite since its incarnation 30 years ago. Up next, City TV's photojournalist Jeff Goodvin shares with us the sights and sounds of this sunny celebration, its main star, the longest day of the year.
Well, we're only about 4 days out from the parade. Parade is Saturday. Today is Wednesday, and we're working 24 hours around the clock trying to get the parade ready.
I'm trying to finish up my costume here for the seahorse on a unicycle.
Michael Gonzalez is credited with founding the Summer Solstice Parade, and his artwork is right now on display at City Hall, and also you can find his posters and artwork in Santa Barbara Public Library. And he started it over 30 years ago, and the basic premise of the parade is still with us today. It's basically people celebrating the longest day of the year with art.
I just love how it's a community event that just brings ordinary people together. It's not commercial. I actually went down to Carnival in Rio a few years ago to see if it would give me ideas. I have to say, it made me appreciate Solstice more.
Personally, to the people who are in here, who actually dedicate hours and hundreds of hours to the parade, it means a lot. As far as a commercial enterprise, we are the biggest parade in this town. Over 100,000 people come. And it's a really big deal to the city of Santa Barbara. People do come from everywhere to be and see this parade because it's so unusual, so unique, and so much fun.
This festival is really unique. I've lived in quite a few places. I've traveled all over the world, and I've never seen anything exactly like this. As far as that, it really is a community event. Everybody is welcome to participate. There's not a board that's saying, oh, you can be in, you can't, this doesn't fit what we want.
Yeah, I mean, it brings everyone together, definitely, and I don't know, Santa Barbara's a pretty, I want to say the word groovy. It's an artistic, groovy place, and it's fun to see everyone, get together and express themselves.
I think it's the best parade in Santa Barbara.
Why is that?
Because it's different. It's not boring. It's a little crazy.
It's a lot of dancing, colors, and crazy people.
If you ever had an idea about being in the parade, it's a really great way to interact and make a lot of new friends and be a part of the community and experience something really unique that not too many communities have.
Happy solstice!
To get involved in next year's Summer Solstice Festival, go to solsticeparade.com and be a part of a Santa Barbara tradition. Well, that does it for this month's episode of Inside Santa Barbara. If you have any questions or comments about our show, give us a call at City TV at 564-5311. You can also watch the show online at citytv18.com. I'm your host, Rachel Senes, and remember to get involved inside Santa Barbara.
Minutes away. Hours of fun. See another world. Stearns Wharf. Your local, affordable source for family fun.
Shouldn't that go into recycling?
Recycling. Recycling. Everybody knows the trash gets sorted. We don't need no stinking recycling.
Fact is, no trash gets sorted, friend. So if it goes in there, it just ends up at a landfill.
There's only one way to settle this. Draw.
Santa Barbara Recycles.
Another day in your day-to-day replays. Moments you might cherish pass you by. But the light of the morning seems to say that one small thing can change the world. The morning light remains. The smile that you offer is returned. The good fortune of the day can be blamed on the fact that one small thing can change the world.
I pledge. Pledge to take the 20-gallon challenge. It's easy and simple. Turn off the tap while doing dishes.
We pledge.
Fixing leaky toilets saves thousands of gallons of water.
We pledge.
Always run full loads of laundry. Use a high-efficiency clothes washer which saves water and energy.
We pledge.
Save water now. Take the 20-gallon challenge at sbwater.org.
How come Dad couldn't come to the beach?
He had to fertilize the lawn.
I saw on television that when fertilizer gets washed into creeks, it causes slimy algae to grow.
Is that bad?
When too much algae grows, there's less oxygen for the fish. Other things washers lawns too, like pesticides.
And the pollution ends up in the ocean. Do you think Dad knows that?
I doubt it. I sure hope he reads the directions.
Remember, when you're fertilizing your lawn, you're not just fertilizing your lawn.
Recycling can be easy, and recycling is about half the cost of trash. But how can residents recycle if it's not available? The fact of the matter is, if you're not recycling, you're throwing money away. So throw away less trash, recycle more, and save money. Recycle at your apartment complex. Call the City of Santa Barbara at 564-5677. Santa Barbara Recycles. Brilliant!